episode. I know everybody listening right now or watching, whatever you're doing, sitting there going, I just want to let go of 2020. But we had to do one more. We're going to go over the positives of 2020. Gaming had a huge year in 2020. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know it's up. Like, I think well over 40-something% at this point, the spending on video games and getting software this year. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about each of our top 3 to top 5 games of the year. At the very end of that, we'll have our complete list for the show as a whole. I've asked my brother Tim. I've asked El Primo Carlos. I've had myself, BK, David, Slap Nugget, Dan, Junior, and Metal Mike all submitted their list. Those are the people that we've got on here, and we're gonna get into that. Of course, if you want to listen to the show on your podcast platform of choice, such as Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Bullhorn, all of them, search Amalgamation Nation on there. If you want to watch live, you can watch us on Twitter at AMNationPod. On YouTube, search Amalgamation Nation. Make sure you hit that sub button while you're there. And you can find us also on Instagram at AMNationPod. And you can watch us twitch.tv/UndeadRedBull. If you are on the Twitch, make sure you follow David and give him a sub, because you do get 1 free sub a month, thanks to Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, spend it on Undead Red Bull. And if you're looking for merch, you can find it on our pin tweet at AMNationPod, or you can just ask for it and I'll send you the link. Honestly, it's like teespring.com/amalgamation or AMNationPod-UndeadRedBulls.com. It's a lot of stuff. So without further ado, let me introduce the crew this evening. From North Carolina, Brendan B.K. Kennerly. BK, are you feeling any better today, buddy?
No.
At least we're doing this, though. At least we're doing this.
This will be the best part of my day. So, hands down.
It's probably the best part of my day, too. So there we go. Also joining us from twitch.tv/UndeadRedBull himself, David. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me, and thanks for Carlos for donating 100 bits.
Oh, I thought you were going to say dollars. I was like, dude, you get a stimulus check, start acting different, huh? Wow.
Which you can do. I'm not gonna mock.
People, you know. You do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. And joining us for the first time in 2021, we've got Guadalupe Moyolana Seville. Hello, Junior.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I've had a few weeks to prepare to nail that, so I was happy with it.
Nice.
100%. And also, joining us for the first time in 2021 from the West Coast, Best Coast, Dan the Freakster Frigo. Dan, hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Thanks for having me. Of course. Thanks for being here. I'm doing just peachy, and I am the anime watching, Swole Team 6 flexing, Garage Guy sleeping, Olivia Munn's legging, John Cena's following, hostess with the mostest himself, Ryan Green Machine Ebner. Woo! There we go. Yeah, gotta hype myself up. Thank you. So, we're going to jump right into it here. I'm going to read some of the lists of the people that aren't on the show, and then we'll get into your guys' list since you're joining us. So let's start with Tim the Jackal, right? This is his list. I'm going to go from 5 to 1. I'm going to go bottom to top. I think that's how I want to do it. Coming in at number 5 on his list is The Last of Us Part 2. Number 4, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number 3, Persona 5 Royale. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And number 1, Animal Crossing.
Nice.
Great.
Nice.
Animal Crossing better be number 1.
It is. Sure.
Oh,
You mean overall or just on his list?
Overall.
Oh, we'll get there.
Overall.
We'll get there.
I know, we'll get there. Early prediction.
Let's start here now. Let's move to first of all, I just want to point out Persona 5 Royale. Tim had it on his list. I think that game, first off, Persona 5 was in general, if you own a PlayStation and you haven't played it yet, you should. It's very, very good. It's one of those games that I hope comes to Steam soon, because I think Mike in particular would really like it. I actually also think, Dan, you would really like it.
Yeah, well, I remember watching you play it.
Yes.
Just really before I moved to Phoenix, you were playing it back home. So you just got the game like on sale, and I was watching you play it, and like you put a lot of hours into it, and that was like just scratching the surface of the game, and the storyline was so entertaining, and like like almost like watching a movie. I was like, I don't even mind watching you play, man, because I love how the story is unfolding here.
Yeah, it's really awesome, and the Royale was a beefed up edition of it. It added more stories, more bosses, and everything like that. It changed things up a little bit too, so it's actually a game that I highly recommend. The rest of these games, listen, we all know about, right? Animal Crossing, well aware of the machine that it was for Nintendo this year. Ghost of Tsushima, it's been talked about as well. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I wish it got more love on everybody's list, but I understand how everybody played it, so I get that. And then Last of Us 2, BK's favorite game. So, stop the vote. Stop the vote. Let's get to El Primo's list. First off, number 5, Fall Guys. Pretty good. It took the world over by storm this summer. Faded a little bit, but it still took the world by storm. Number 4, Among Us. I'm going to point out the reason that I allowed Among Us is a lot of other lists I saw did, even though it is a game I think that came out like December 2018. It really became huge halfway through this year. I mean, we're seeing politicians jumping on Twitch playing it with people. Everybody. I mean, it's being used as memes everywhere. It's huge. So really awesome for that small development team too to see how big Among Us has got. Animal Crossing coming in at number 3. At number 2, Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. And number 1, Call of Duty Warzone. Carlos switching it up a little bit here, putting Animal Crossing a little bit lower on the list to bump up Warzone. I will tell you, when he submitted his list to me, I completely forgot Warzone came out in 2020. That's how long that year felt.
Sure did.
That is how long that year felt to me. My God. And then I started to remember my doing a gaming show. I want to say it was with Joey, and I remember being like, Call of Duty, Activision, way to plan that out perfectly. Right as soon as the pandemic hits, boom, here's a battle royale, and everybody played the shit out of it. They still do, obviously, still do. I forgot all about it. Let's see who else isn't here. All right, let's get to Mike. Mike's only got 2 games, so this is pretty easy.
Shocker.
Pretty easy. Number 2, Animal Crossing. There
This
it is.
bitch.
It was
Good
Monster
thing he's
Hunter,
taking
for
an
sure.
Uber now.
Once Monster Hunter.
Number 1,
No.
Wow.
World of Warcraft
Wow.
Shadowlands.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his new baby.
It's his new baby. He loves it.
Literally, he comes home, plays it 8 hours, goes to sleep.
Dude, I
wakes
know.
up, plays it before he goes to work. Comes home, plays it. That's all he plays.
Right? I will tell you this. World of Warcraft Shadowlands, it's so funny. Again, this is why... Listen, we're not IGN, right? We're not GameSpot. We're not some big old thing. I mean, I think we're better, but that's cool. So the list, I'm a little bit looser with the rules on that, right? And a lot of lists, they're not going to let you put an expansion because, But to me, I think an expansion matters. I think if that expansion to you, and we're going to get to it with Junior as well, because Junior's talked about World of Warcraft so much as well. I'm sure it's on his list. But we're going to get into like why that is why you would put that on your list. If an expansion truly... makes you feel like that you've enjoyed that experience, I think it should be allowed on the list. So I'm fine with it.
And some expansions are almost like a game too. They have enough content to be considered its own game. So
Witcher 3's DLCs alone, almost won games of the year.
Yeah, they were up and running for it. That's how good they can be.
Yep. So it's pretty sweet. And then to wrap up the people that aren't here, we do have Slap Nuggets list. And he actually sent me like what would you say? Comments with his game. So I'm gonna read those from him as well. Number 5, Bug Snacks. He said, "Bro, come on, it's fucking Bug Snacks, my guy." So, hey, I'm about it. It's Bug Snacks.
That's enough for a reason right there.
Number 4, Last of Us Part 2. He said it's beautiful and violent and heartbreaking. Also, still waiting to do a review podcast on that one.
It ain't gonna happen because Ryan's never gonna play.
Listen, that's so funny. Everyone says my name, and it's like you guys are
You're
all
literally
capable.
the only one that hasn't played it.
You guys all are capable of recording your own show without me, and it's cool.
You're the hostess with the mostest. We would be like,
I know, right?
Well, it's just like the Valhalla show. I didn't play Valhalla. I just cruise. I just drive the car, man. Just driving the car. You let me.
thought we were saving The Last of Us Part 2 spoiler cast for a Patreon exclusive episode. So I thought that's why.
There it is.
And that's why I thought.
And that's the best part is that the people that are part of this podcast will donate for it because they also want to do it. So it's great. It's great. It's like you're just paying to do your own show, guys. There you go. Number 3, Phasmophobia. He says it's spooky, scary fun for everyone. That was really good, Nick. I really like that. It was
It's
good
pretty big on Twitch. People still play it.
Oh, dude.
cute.
Obviously, during October, it got bigger.
Yeah.
You know,
My brother. I like when my brothers play it because I can hear Tim across the hall, and it's pretty funny. I enjoy it. Number 2 on Slap Nuggets list, Ghost of Tsushima. He says it's gorgeous, makes you feel badass playing a samurai chopping fools. There you go. It is a beautiful game. From everything I've watched, it is beautiful. I can't wait for the PS5 remaster edition of it. It's going to be great.
I would agree.
It's going to be really fun.
Hopefully, I get a free upgrade because I have it digitally.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point.
I probably won't.
It runs
And
at a solid 60 on PS5 right now.
is
I think
it?
they upgraded that. I think so. I believe so.
Oh.
I think they did that, but I don't know if they did more than that.
I think it's on sale too, so check that out. Number 1 for Slap Nugget, Animal Crossing. A good way to stay close with loved ones and just other people during the pandemic, and it was really addictive. It really is addictive.
It sure was.
Yes, it is I will get into it because I will tell you, yes, Animal Crossing made my list. Talked about it all year. It had to. But yes, Nick, you made a great point of the game coming out when it did during the pandemic. I think it makes it so much more special for people that did play the game. So awesome. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that his side game, or the one that didn't make the cut, was Among Us, but he wanted to just put it on there. He said the game is older but picked up major traction in 2020 and was literally one of the most popular and played games of the whole year. So it does. I appreciate that. Also, Carlos's extra game, which I completely forgot as I was reading it, GTA 5. So wouldn't be
Online, I guess. We'll just say online.
wouldn't be a show if Carlos didn't mention GTA. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
That's true.
So let's get
That's
to
what's up.
Let's get to us. Junior, let's start with you. I have your list ready, so I'll read it for you, and then you can explain it after I read the games off, okay?
Cool.
All right, let's start. So at number 3, he's got World of Warcraft Shadowlands, the expansion for WoW. Number 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And number 1, Animal Crossing. Junior, floor is yours.
Pretty much like you nailed the points, and so did Dan, with Shadowlands, as far as like expansion. A lot of times it could make or break a game. Like, you don't necessarily have to have a second, game, like WoW 2 or whatever. Just keep adding expansions to it. And what I like about this one is that they've implemented so many different game mechanics with like the raids, the dungeons, and they implemented what's called the Torghast Tower, which is like a soloable, mini raid that you could do, or you could do it with, your party. And there's like these little mini powers you pick up as you go from floor to floor to floor, which is like kind of like the tower that you do in Diablo, where you get stronger and stronger as you go. And what I've seen is that there's been this big resurgence. I mean, attributed to the pandemic, if you want, or just the fact that it's a good DLC or expansion, is the fact that so many people came back to the game, got so many new players. Especially in PvP, you can farm all these noobs, which is freaking awesome. You can teach people the mechanics as far as raids and dungeons go and shit like that. And to me, WoW's always been one of those games that's like near and dear to my heart. Whether I love it or I hate it, I'm still gonna play it.
100%.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla came in at number 2 for me, and I was actually kind of tied between that and Ghost of Tsushima, simply because of like, I don't want to say similar game style, but similar like graphics and things like that. And for me, like, I grew up playing Assassin's Creed. That's always a game that I've always, want to play. I mean, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, for example, I play the shit out of it every chance I get. I'm trying to 100% it.
Nice.
I've got like maybe 85, 86% of the game done, as far as like
Nice.
all the secrets, all the collectibles, all the clothing that you can get, the outfits, the weapons, upgrades for your ship, everything. And again, it's one of those games that I just simply, love, and I love that series. That's why I had to put Valhalla up there. And Animal Crossing, I mean, I haven't really played it, but I've seen people playing it. And I know that's going to be like kind of contradictory to why I put that at number 1, even though I haven't played it. But the fact that it came out at the time that it did, which was like late March, right when the fucking pandemic was hitting, you've got so many people bonding over that game, and it just made the gaming industry, I guess, like a more pure thing. Like it wasn't just like all these toxic, neckbeards, fighting over who the best characters in the game, fucking coming up in the news, as like, oh yeah, this shooter or whatever played this game, so point the finger at the game. No, like everybody was pointing the fingers like at the games because like, yeah, this is the game that brought me, closer to my brother. This is the game that brought me closer to my mom and dad. This is the game that where I met this so and so. It just became this beautiful thing for the gaming world. So I had to put that one at number one simply for this game came out at the perfect time and it did what it did.
100%. 100%. Beautiful, beautiful job, Junior. Great job on your list. You got one more game in there than Mike, so you're ahead of him. You're ahead of him. All right, let's move on here to Dan. Dan, it's so funny that you sent me that text because I will let you know right now, with the way that you switched it, you switched it to the correct way you wanted it. It actually bumped a game up from being just on the outside of the top 5 to being tied for 5th. So it actually mattered a lot. So that was pretty good.
Some swing votes.
So there it is. That's why he's from Arizona. That's why he's in Arizona, baby. There it is. Stop the count. Stop the count. All right, here we go. Number 3 for Dan. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 2, Crash Bandicoot 4. My man. And number 1, World of Warcraft Shadowlands. Is what we'll put it. We'll put WoW only because it's Shadowlands, so that's why I'll put it in there for you, Dan. Dan?
Okay, well, for me, so I'll take it away from here. And so I'll start with my number 1, so WoW. So I didn't do Shadowlands because, of course, I haven't played it yet. But for me, the reason why I picked WoW was because since we had a lot of new people playing it now, we had Ryan, we had Mike, we had David, and it was like at the peak of COVID when we started playing it. And it was something to do during early summer and just, still be able to like talk to the boys and do stuff, when you can't go out and do anything. So that was kind of like the fun game to play and get new people that I've been playing games with for the last few years to finally get involved in World of Warcraft. So that's why I really liked it.
What about the rest of your list, sir?
So Assassin's Creed. So actually, no, I'll go to Crash Bandicoot. So Crash Bandicoot, it's actually, I didn't realize it when I first started playing it, but I found out that it's actually a sequel from the trilogy, so it plays onto that series and that storyline. So the reason why I liked it is because Crash 4 was very creative and a very colorful game. They did such a great job with it. I love having all the new masks in there, the ones that give you like new abilities, like there's time stop. I think there's like gravity phases you can do, and that was just another new aspect bringing to the game than what we have from the original masks from the first games in the series. And then you also have all the different playable characters. You have Cortez, you have Dingo, what's his name? Dingo Dino or something like that. Yeah, and then like Coco. So all of them have their own unique abilities, and like you have Dingo Dino with the gun shooting all the TNT and stuff like that. So that was just everything was really fresh and very new since I haven't played a Crash game in so long. I have the Insane Trilogy, but which kind of makes it I feel not as great because since you had such an updated game since the 90s anyways, because the last one was from like 1998. So if you didn't play the Insane Trilogy, this is such a huge difference. But even for me, still loved it. Just all around great game.
I was gonna say, for me when I played it, I was just instantly like, wow, this is really fun, but it was also really challenging too because of the graphics changes.
So hard.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah, that was definitely one thing that I had so many freaking times, man. I was so pissed because it's so much different from the old games, man. Old games were a lot different, so the graphic updates make it so much harder.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, so the last one for me is obviously one that came out in 2020, just like Junior. So for me, I love the AC series, and I played a lot of them. I finally started getting burned out around the Black Flag time, like I've said in a previous podcast. So it's been quite some time since I played a new one, and so playing this one was definitely very fresh for me, very new. And one thing I really liked about it was that the world, of course, open world is very popular nowadays, and we also see a lot of games do it. Either sometimes they mess it up, they do a very empty world, or world where it feels like there's just so much to do where you don't feel like you really have a direction where you're going because you just get pulled to different directions every time you go down the path. And so I feel like Assassin's Creed did very well with making it where there's enough to do, but it's not overwhelming, nor am I really bored. There's always something else I can do if I get too worn out on one objective, or I like the fact that you can find artifacts and mysteries, get into lore and explore the world even more. So I thought that was a really good thing and refresh to bring to the Assassin's Creed series.
Well, Dan, that is your list. I'll run through one more time. Number 1, World of Warcraft. Number 2, Crash 4. And number 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Moving along the line here. Let's get to David's list. I'll start at number 5 for you. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 4, Warzone. Number 3, Last of Us Part 2. Number 2, Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones, I read GOT. Ghost of Tsushima. I knew after writing it as GOT this whole time on everyone's list, I was like, I'm going to fuck this up. And I sure did. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And number 1, Animal Crossing. David, the floor is yours.
All right, so I'll work backwards. Start with 5. Assassin's Creed. It was a beautiful game. I mean, we streamed it here on Twitch. We played the hell out of it. We enjoyed a lot of it. So it's just there's a lot of games that we played on Twitch this year. So kind of hard. You gotta crunch it down and fit it in. You only got 5. So it did round out the top 5, so it didn't make it in. But there are some notables like Fall Guys and Among Us that didn't make it. But we're still great games during the year that we played.
That crown moment will always get me.
That crown moment was
always
great. That was great. I like that. And then 4, Call of Duty Warzone. I mean, it's best battle royale. So at least for me, the reason why it's not higher up on the list is because of there's no such thing as an anti-cheat. So I got to deal with cheaters in the game. It's just you come accustomed to it now. But now they made there's a companion app now to where I guess. It's almost like it's cheating, but it allows me to see the players in the lobby. So I could see their KDs. I haven't used it yet, but I've been watching other streamers use it. You could see if a cheater, if you have a cheater in your lobby, if they have like a 20 KD or something ridiculous because, they're cheating and you just quit out of the game. So it's been helping people to avoid them. But then, of course, you have the stream snipers like, oh, I got Tim the Tatman in here. So there's always the downside of it. It has helpful, but I'm gonna look into that. Hopefully, that could help me out a little bit from the streamer or from the cheater perspective. And then number 3, I have The Last of Us Part 2. Obviously, we've played it on Twitch. I had a lot of bashing, but the game overall was still great. It was still a good game. You still had to enjoy it. So that's why I still made it on my list. It wasn't as high, but I put it ahead of Warzone because it's not cheating. So, but it was still a great game. Then 2 is Ghost of Tsushima. So we gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah. It was great. It was a little bit different, right? I don't know how I would have felt about it if Assassin's Creed would have came out first before this. I don't know. Maybe it would have flip flopped because it'd been like, oh, it's kind of new. It's kind of like, oh, it's similar, right? I probably still would have liked it, but I think it came out at the perfect time. Came out when there was nothing really out. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna play it, and I played the hell out of it. I enjoyed it. I did not get to beat the game. I have not finished it, but I think I'm going to wait and try to beat it on a PS5. If it gets remastered, I'll enjoy that on there, especially since there's not that many PS5 exclusives right now.
That's true.
I'm going to try that out. True. And then number 1 is, of course, Animal Crossing, which was amazing. I mean, we did so much stuff. I mean, I played the hell out of that game for the first 3 months.
You have a fantastic island.
Yes.
He does.
I did make a museum built in with waterfalls all around it. And then on the outside, you have a T-Rex. I got dinosaurs on the outside, walkways. And that was kind of near the end, too. After I finally finished building all that, that was kind of near the end of my Animal Crossing almost, because it was like, what else do I do? Right? It's either basically restart and do everything again. I mean, I try to get into some of their events like the Halloween and the Christmas, but it's like you just log on and you're like, all right, cool. And then you kind of fade. But early in the year, it was amazing. That was our key moments where we would get together, hang out with friends, and just chill. And that's why it's number one.
So there it is, everybody. David's list. Number 5, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 4, Call of Duty Warzone. 3, Last of Us Part 2. 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And number 1, Animal Crossing. Moving along here, we're going to go to BK. He has a top 3. And then I know you also have some games that didn't make your list, but you had them as notables to discuss as well. Number 3, Half-Life Alyx. Number 2, Crusader Kings 3. And number 1, Ghost of Tsushima. BK, it's all you.
So Half-Life Alyx, but Mike always makes a joke that they can't go to 3, so that's why they made Half-Life Alyx. It's a VR game, and it's a lot of fun, and I think it's not on their list just because it's a VR game. It's still not in the mainstream yet. It wasn't even on PSVR. So you actually needed like a PC VR headset. So that really locked out a lot of people, unfortunately. Hopefully, as the years move on here, it's not a game that's kind of really like lost to the ages. Because I feel like you get some of that with the older Wii titles that came later in that generation. Zelda Skyward Sword really comes to mind there.
Mm-hmm.
Games like that. And so I think this game could suffer from that if VR, but I think VR is kind of slowly finding its niche, but we'll see. Only time will tell. Then Crusader Kings 3, it's just a nice chill game, just like to sit back. You're just like, all right, I'm just gonna like chill today. Work was wild. I'm just gonna sit here and have a few beers, and then we're just gonna see how my kingdom goes. I'm just gonna pick random stuff and just kind of watch it unfold. It's fun. And then Ghost of Sushi. What a fantastic game. I wasn't even going to get it at first until I think it was you, Ryan, and you, David, were both talking about it. And then I was just like, all right, I got to get this. Whatever. I was like, I got a PS4. I'm buying this. And I loaded that up, and it was just how it changed open world exploration, like third-person action-adventure games. It's so remarkable with the minimalist UI. It's very clean. You're kind of really taking in the whole world. The colors are just beautiful, and how it uses the wind to kind of guide you. It's very, very nice. The kind of little side quests and stories have a Witcher 3 feel. They're kind of weighty. They really kind of dig deep into the world there. They make you feel like you're really part of that old feudal Japan era there. And now, and that game was the main reason why I did not have Assassin's Creed Valhalla in my top 3 at all. It's just because I think they really set the bar going forward, Sucker Punch, for open world games, like how you're supposed to do them, how you're supposed to design them, and everything going forward. Because I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park. And like I said, I'm a big Ubisoft guy. I like their games, and I like open world games. And I think Sucker Punch kind of ate their lunch and kind of showed them, like, hey, this is how you do it. So, and that's my top 3 here. Let me grab my phone.
Yeah, while you run through that, well, I'll give them their 3 real quick again. It's Half-Life Alyx, Crusader Kings 3 at 2, and Ghost of Tsushima at number 1.
So guys, I'm not a huge Animal Crossing guy. It's just not my thing. I played the original for GameCube. It just wasn't my jam then, and I haven't really hopped back in, and I was considering this one, but I just don't know if that's my thing. I'm glad it exists for y'all and that everyone's enjoying it, because I could see the wholesome in the community like around that game. And I just thought it was super funny how that game launched with Doom, and they're like complete opposite of each other. Everyone's just like really happy. The other one's just like, hell demons. I thought that was interesting. I haven't had a chance to play Final Fantasy VII Remake yet. I'm hoping to get to that this year here. Death Stranding as well. I'm going to hope to get to as well. Those are kind of the notable 2020 games I haven't gotten to. Shout out to some backlog games I got to that I really, really enjoy. The Last of Us, because I didn't play that until this year, and that's awesome. That's like that's easily top 5, probably top 3 games of all time. God of War, like the reboot one here for PS4. That's wow, what a great game. Uncharted 1, I played that this year. Uncharted 2, played Catherine, and then a Borderlands 3 that came out. What was it, 2019?
I think
It was like
fall
late 2018.
2019.
Is it? Yeah, and I picked it up this year when it was on sale. Like it was like right around March, April. There was a huge sale at GameStop, and I got like the whole DLC edition and all of that, for 25-30 bucks, and it was such a money well spent. It's just a fun game to play, and I would actually recommend it for everyone that's just looking for just a silly, fun shooter experience that does not mind making fun of itself whatsoever. And then lastly here, I kind of want to end on two games that they came out years and years and years ago, but the developer has just been kind of continuing to push content for it. And one is Super Smash Brothers. I think we all know that. They just keep coming out with fighters.
Yep.
They have all the new fighter pass and everything like that. Sephiroth was announced, and everyone kind of, got huge raging boners for that.
Sure did.
So it's
Huge.
yeah,
Huge.
what a fun game, and I'm glad that there's so many fighters in that. It's incredible, but it still feels balanced. It's a lot of fun, and I really like when developers continue to kind of just iterate a game, just even like those small tweaks, because it gives you a reason to keep going back and
Yep.
playing, and it really rewards you for your time that you've invested in it. Just like Shadowlands with WoW, it's just like, hey, like rewarding you essentially for all the hours and everything you've been putting in. Like here's a little bit more of lore to like really dive in and enjoy it. So, and then lastly, which probably isn't a shock for anyone here, Civ 6. They came out with the new Frontier Pass this year, and I've just been super enjoying the tweaks and changes they've made. I got a game actually running right now in the background because it's turn-based, so I can do a turn real quick, and I can hop back on here and pay attention. It's a lot of fun, and I really recommend anyone to go get it. It should. I think actually the sale ends here any day, if not just ended. You can go to Steam and even 2K. They had the Platinum Edition, quote unquote, on sale, where it had the base Civ game, and then it had the first two DLCs, and gave you pretty much. It just didn't have the brand new DLC that came out. So it's gonna have like the new Golden Eras, Dark Ages, and Heroic Ages, and it's gonna have all that. You have to protect trading posts and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun, and it goes back Crusader Kings 3 style. If you want a game that like I say is turn based, that you kind of sit back, you have a beer, and just kind of play, and you can even kind of just chat with friends while you're playing, and it's a lot of fun. So just shout out to 2K and shout out to Nintendo for continuing to invest into those games and kind of luring players.
Aw, hell yeah. I think you had just such a big year, like you said, with all the different games that you're able to get to the backlog, and hats off to you, because that is sometimes one of the hardest things to do, is to dive into your backlog, especially when there's other things coming out that you'd rather invest your time in, but it's like, no, I have to do this. So you, sir, hats off to you.
Dude, for real.
Yeah, because it sucks. It's hard. It is really hard for me to be like, yeah, let me jump back into this, because like it feels like, for me in a lot of cases, once I'm out, I'm out. That's it. All right, moving on. So hats off to you for that.
To you, because you convinced me primarily to get a PlayStation 4, because I was pro Xbox guy, and I was just like, I mainly didn't want to get PlayStation, because I was like, I hate their fanboys so effing much, and I didn't even want to give them the shred of money to Sony. So that's what the one used, and so I technically didn't give Sony money for that PlayStation 4.
That a boy.
They sure as hell got that money. They sure as hell got that money for the PlayStation 5 though. So
and
Make me want to play Ghost of Tsushima.
oh man,
it's so good. And it's my game of the year, so it's like I'm a better gamer for it. So thank you. Hats off to you, sir.
I'm glad everybody got to experience a wide variety of games. All right, let's wrap it up with my list. A game that I'm just going to start with, it didn't make my list just because, like David mentioned, like I've only played half of it. I just didn't feel like I enjoyed it enough or even put enough into it for it to make my list. That's Last of Us Part 2. I agree with David and with Nick, like just how, the game is beautiful. Like even running on a base PS4 that I played it on, it was beautiful, and it definitely caused emotions in me at times during the game, whether that's sadness or anger or excitement. Like, it was all different things. So it to me, it just wasn't my jam, and I wish it would have been, because like BK said, the first one, man, the first Last of Us is just so good. It's so beautifully done. It's well written, and it's a great game. It's a great experience. And this one just didn't grab me that way, so it didn't make my list. It was just on the outside of it. Same with Fall Guys. Fall Guys was so fun, and I enjoyed like the 3 weeks to a month that I was really into it with everybody. I touched upon like with David, like getting that crown and being in his playing with him when he did it was just one of the coolest moments of the summer for me and for the year, because it was just like we were together doing it, and he got to the end, and like the moment when it happened, I'm like, oh my god. And he's like, what? Because it was delayed compared to like what I saw. His delay, like it froze, and I was like, I think you won. He's like, no way. And it's like there's the crowd. It was so exciting. It was super cool.
Still my only crown.
It is. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Still got one, baby. You got one.
It's all that matters.
Got one
For the stream.
Right.
You're the only one.
It was super fun. And also Among Us, I didn't play it a ton, but I respect what it did, like, and how big for that small development studio to like. What got me was watching the Game Awards and then them winning awards and like seeing like the team of three and then the one girl on the phone FaceTime, and like they got so emotional. And I think Junior and I talked about that. We're like, that's some of our favorite moments for the Game Awards in general, are like seeing the developers and how happy they are and emotional they are because of their work that they put in. Among Us is just such a simple but yet so fun of a game, and it's something where like you can get like a group of us together and just fuck around and play. It is on the Game Pass on Xbox, just so everybody knows, on PC. So you can play it. That would be pretty cool. That is something that we will also all have to do at some point, and get Carlos in there and Slap Nugget and all that. I think that'd be really fun. So that would be cool. My list. Number 5, Bugsnax. Because it is... I'll go through the whole list before I do it. Bugsnax number 5. Number 4, Ori Will of the Wisp. Number 3, Crash Bandicoot 4. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake. And number 1, Animal Crossing. Bugsnax at 5. Listen, man, I love Bugsnax. As soon as I saw the trailer, I remember watching it with my brother, with Nick, and just instantly being like, this is the shit. Like, this is so stupid and simple, and I love it. And it has such a great voice cast as well. It launched on PS5. You can get it on PS4, but it was on PS5, and it was just so fun. It was just silly fun. I enjoyed playing it. Number 4, Ori Will of the Wisp is a game. If you like platformers and you own an Xbox, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you haven't played Ori Will of the Wisp yet. It is on Game Pass. You should definitely get into it. It is probably one of the best Xbox Studio games ever. Or Moonlight Studios. I don't think Xbox officially owns them yet. But you should play it. It's beautiful. And I've only heard great things about it running on an Xbox Series X. So I hope everybody that has an Xbox, you have Game Pass, download it and play it. It is beautiful. It deserved so much more love than it got. It was one of the games I was really, really pissed that it didn't make Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and that Doom got on the list, because I honestly think Doom got overshadowed so much by Animal Crossing that it was like, why is this even here? Ori the Will of the Wisp is such a great game. So I hope that people play Ori the Will of the Wisp. 3, Crash 4. Everything Dan said. I mean, I remember, Dan, was it me that told you how good it was at first? I was like, you need to get this game. I think so, right?
Yeah, I think it told me it was on sale.
Yeah, and I was like, you should play this, because I knew you love Crash Bandicoot so much. If you're a fan of Crash Bandicoot from the days when you were a kid, or, in Junior's case, when he was like a middle-aged man.
Hey. I was just starting to become a teenager, right?
Oh, there it is. There it is. He's like, I was just getting hair on my face. More than I have, so that's cool. Crash Bandicoot 4 does everything that the original trilogy did, and then more. It's just
Exactly.
It's so fun to play. The fact that it is updated to this current gen is just wild. It makes the game more challenging but fun. I think I was sitting on here after a podcast with David and with Mike, I think, and everybody. I can't remember who. I think it was, though, and I was getting pissed. Like, as I was trying to finish, like, a bonus level, I was just getting fucking mad, because I'm like, I know I can fucking beat this goddamn level, and, like, I just couldn't get it, like, motherfucker, but it was so fun at the same time. Then I beat it, and I was excited, so I love that game. It was really good. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think if more people played that game, it probably would have been Game of the Year for the show. Because Final Fantasy VII alone, the original, probably one of the greatest video games of all time. It goes down, and I think, at least in the top 10 for most people. And this remake was so beautiful. It made waiting for it, because there's always this, like, feeling, right, when you wait for something that and you're like, it's not going to be as good, we're going to get nervous. And there's no problem with this. It was absolutely beautiful. Some of the changes they made were great to the story. I can't wait for the second part of it. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. I hope people got downloaded now. If you have a PS5, get it. If you haven't gotten a PS5 yet, though, don't worry. The year exclusivity is up in April, so you'll be able to get it on Xbox very soon, and probably PC. So make sure you play Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's fantastic. And number 1, Animal Crossing, man. I mean, it goes without saying. Animal Crossing, I said it all year long, it was Game of the Year. It was something that in a time where people were like, it was such a strange time, in the pandemic. Obviously, the pandemic's still going on. But, like, in the beginning, like, everything's locked down and can't see people, and being able to log into Animal Crossing and then maybe, like, jump on Discord or something and talk to people and see people was just amazing. David, Carrie, Joey, and then Nick joined in, threw me, like, a surprise birthday on Animal Crossing. And, like, that, to me, was so cool and so awesome. And I just think that game has so many moments that makes it great. And I've seen people do their wedding ceremonies on Animal Crossing, people having dates on Animal Crossing, like, just so many things. And that game is so beautiful for that. It's so simple, and bringing out the different events that they've done, those are really fun. To David's point, a lot of it is just log in, do your shit, and get out. But you could still, like, I found myself not too long ago logging in there and, like, for 2 hours just fucking around, because I was just like, I haven't done this in a while. And it is really fun. I love Animal Crossing. I don't think I do agree, BK, in a way that I don't think it's something that you would have been like, wow, this is great. You probably would have been like, oh, I'm not really too sure about it. It's kind of boring, because it's not everybody's jam. But I do think, like I said, the moments that people have had, the moments I personally had with the game, were great. So Animal Crossing, to me, hands down, Game of the Year. I am sure every bit of it has to do with the fact that there was a pandemic. There's no doubt in my mind. I would have loved Animal Crossing anyway, but the moment that it came out and everything that it was able to do in that time for people, I think just made it that much better. I think we did a fucking podcast on Animal Crossing. Like, David streamed us in the studio, and I'm, like, one of our studios in Animal Crossing, and then, like, it was great. It was just funny as shit, just doing a gaming show in Animal Crossing. So, I love it. I love it. So, one more time. Number 5, Bugsnax. Number 4, Ori Will the Wisp. Number 3, Crash Bandicoot 4. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake. And number 1, Animal Crossing. Which leads me to the show's top list. Real quick. Animal Crossing low-key did bring people together, Carlos. And, I probably am going to watch anime. I don't know what that's about, but, like, I am probably going to watch anime. Yeah. No doubt.
I was talking to Chad. I was like, it sounds like we should play Animal Crossing after this stream.
He's right. I'm probably watch anime. You're right. You ain't nothing wrong with that. That's cool. I was just about to start Black Clover, so there you go. Nice. Junior, there you go. Spoiler, in case you didn't know, I'm starting Black Clover, so it's cool. Cool. All right, let's get to the list. For the show. So what I did: first place for each person was worth 5 points. Second place worth 4. Third place worth 3. Fourth place worth 2, and fifth was worth 1. Added everybody's list up and onto this like Google sheet here, and I got everybody's score. So first, I want to start off with the two that just missed the top 5 by a point. They were tied for, I guess we'll call it 6th. They're just outside of it. That is Last of Us Part 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Both games, like I said, I think they're both really good games. Last of Us 2, I might not like the direction that it went, and I just couldn't keep going with it, but I still respect what it was. And Final Fantasy VII Remake, like I just said, I love it. So That's awesome. Glad it almost made it. But see, Dan, this is where I was talking to you about. You switching your list on me like that saved this one because it also would have been just on the outside. But tied for 5th, we have Call of Duty Warzone and Crash Bandicoot 4. Pretty sweet.
Ooh.
Pretty sweet. Crash would have just
like
been
being
tied for
Steve-O.
6th. You did. You are a swing state, and I appreciate it. Way to go, Dan. So, yes, number 5, we have Warzone and Crash Bandicoot 4 tied at 7 total points. Number 4, at 8 points, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Number 3, it's so fucking stupid. World of Warcraft at 13 points comes in at number 3. A game that's like fucking almost 20 years old.
Fuck yeah.
What are you
Jesus,
trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Jesus
What are you trying to say?
Christ. My God.
He's just like nodding. He's like, I did something. Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell. You could really tell like what type of show and what kind of group this is just from that alone. So, yeah, so World of Warcraft. I call it World of Warcraft Shadowlands just to make it seem legit. I'm in at 3 at 13 points. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. At 17 points, made it to 2nd on our top 5 games of 2020 list.
Kind of want to buy a PlayStation 4 now. It's because of that game.
You
Or
could,
you just wait and get a PS5.
you could just do that too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just go big baller on it. Get that PS5.
Balling.
And
But since it's Dan, he'll probably keep waiting just like he's been waiting on that Switch.
low key, but see, Dan, the thing with the Switch is you're in such a weird spot because like there's so much discussion of like there are gonna probably be a Switch Pro, and then Nintendo's like, oh, we're not even worried about that, and people are like, you're lying because we know you're gonna.
It's like,
So Dan's
Oh,
like,
they're gonna make.
ah!
I don't know when though.
I know.
I thought it was gonna be first quarter of this year. So.
You don't want to 3DS it. I get you,
Oh
bro.
no.
That pissed me off.
That's like 2008.
True. They just took Netflix off 3DSs, so super sad, everybody. Sorry.
Whew.
that is sad.
Big moves.
Big moves. Big moves. And number 1, our game of the year for 2020 for Amalgamation Nation, with 32 total fucking points. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will tell you what. It deserves it. For everybody's story that we talked about it, whether it's mine, David, even Junior talked about it as well, and BK talked about it being on the outside, but he understood, the importance of it this year. Fantastic game, and for everything it did, like I said, I could hand to God, I could swear, I know for a fact that there was no pandemic, it wouldn't have even made the top 5 of the list. I don't think people would have loved it as much as we did, but that's not the case. So, Animal Crossing, number 1, not only in my heart, but number 1 on the list, and I'm pretty excited about it. I kind of knew as like the lists were coming into me, like I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna end up being number 1, isn't it? Like Tim had it at number 1, and then Carlos had it at 3, and then I knew, and David gave me his list, he had it at 1, and I was like, holy shit! I'm like, well, I know it's my number 1, so that alone it's already setting it up to be. And then Junior's like, oh, I got it on my list at number 1, and I'm like, holy shit! And then Nick's like, oh, I got it at number 1, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's GG. It's good.
Carlos would like a recount.
Carlos wants a recount. Why?
Oh,
What?
stop
GTA 5?
Stop
I think that's
count.
Rick.
Fake news. Fake
No
news.
GTA 5.
No,
He's
dude.
angry.
I'm sorry. I will go through some of these other games, though, that did get points, just so everybody, GTA 5 actually didn't get a point at all on this list, so that's okay. With 4 points was Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath and Crusader Kings 3. 3 points, we had Persona 5 Royale, Half-Life Alyx, Phasmophobia. Bugsnax got 2 points, so did Ori Will of the Wisp and Among Us, and with 1 point, Fall Guys, so it was there too. But just to reiterate it one more time, the top 5 2020 Game of the Years from Amalgamation Nation: Warzone and Crash Bandicoot at 5, Crash Bandicoot 4 at 5, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at 4, World of Warcraft Shadowlands at 3, number 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and number 1, Animal Crossing. Boom. Awesome.
What's Duke's favorite games?
Yeah, Duke's like, I just follow me on TikTok, bro. That's what Duke's saying right now. Follow me on TikTok, bro.
Yeah, he came by to say that. You got to follow him on TikTok.
Follow him on TikTok at Undead Red Bull on TikTok. Check it out. for videos of Duke doing some cool shit. Once he did the Fleetwood Mac, I was in. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm about it. I do love me some Fleetwood Mac. Storm Riot's house.
Yeah, they want to recount.
Hey man, I tell you what, if you storm the house, there's a good chance I'm sleeping. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I actually honestly probably trying to get to storm the house will probably be better than whatever was that effort we saw at the Capitol, which you can listen to me and BK talk about in the last podcast. So go ahead and search that one up and have a good old time. Crack yourself a beer and get angry, but just like the rest of us. So that'll be fun. Before I wrap this up, is there anything that anybody wants to say about 2020 games or games in general this year?
You touched on it a little bit earlier. It was a great. A lot of people spent a lot of money on games, but I think the pandemic brought a lot of people back to video games, and I think video games will be better for that in the long run. With the obvious fanboy warism going on between the consoles and all that, so I think getting more, I don't know, not trying to sound elitist here, but more casual gamers or people that had drifted away from kind of getting them back into console gaming will be, I think it'll be good in the long run.
100%. Yeah, it was a great year, like I said, for gaming. To see such a diverse list of games in general, not just from us, but from other outlets as well. It was there. It showed the type of year that it was, and having everything all over the place. Hades, which is a game which I feel like I really should buy, and because it won so many Game of the Year awards on so many people's lists, so many shows lists, and it's like, man, maybe I should try that out, because I always do that. Like if a game wins Game of the Year, I always feel like, okay, I should probably at least look into it. If it wins it a lot in a lot of outlets, I should probably look into it. So I did see Hades on sale on the Switch, so maybe I'll pick that up. I know, BK, you played it, right?
Yes, I put in around 25, 30 hours or so, around that. I just think the roguelites it's the first rogue, I think, they're called roguelites, that I've ever played, and it's not for me, and that's okay. Yeah. It's just a little too repetitive for me, which is you die, and then you just do it over again, but you may be slightly more powerful, or more of the enemy's move sets, and it's just over and over and over and over and over, and I was just sitting there playing, I was like, okay, all right, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind you on that, because same deal. It gets repetitive. It's based on the fact that you need to die so that you can do the run again a little stronger each time.
Yeah.
And after a while, it just gets boring. After the third, fourth boss, it's you already know it's the same song and dance.
Carlos asked, most underrated game for us, each of us. Well, I'll start because I already knew. It's Ori Will the Wisp. I mentioned it when I discussed it. It's such a great game. It's such a great platformer. It's beautifully done. It looks beautiful too. It's a game that I think like I said, I hope more people play. I really, really do, because it's on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass on the console. I believe it's Game Pass on the PC. And so I believe more people should definitely look into that. Does anybody else have an underrated game for them?
Skyrim.
Wow. That's almost as good as GTA 5. It's really close.
Specifically on Samsung fridges, though. That's, GTA 5 only, or Skyrim only on Samsung fridges. So
I wish GTA 5 was on not on Skyrim. Jesus fucking Christ. Samsung fridge.
Hey, you could get mods.
Carlo,
you could turn Skyrim
GTA 5 on my Skyrim and vice versa.
Carlos says Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that is a great fucking pick, because that game looks beautiful.
I'm in the Series X here soon.
My hard drive says no. But,
yeah,
says no. Nice.
My hard drive says no, but it does definitely look beautiful.
Frank also says Among Us. Great, great choice as well.
Yeah, it's a great choice.
A game that I would consider underrated, but it's not a 2020 release, but I played it for the first time, was Hello Neighbor.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, okay.
I've heard of it, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, that's a really good one, man. That's basically you lived across the street from a guy, and you witness him murder somebody, and so it's all cartoonish and stuff, and so each level there's like different acts, and each level you basically have to hide from him and not let him catch you, or you get to restart the level, or
like
you
you're
you
trying to
basically just
find,
respawn basically, not restart
so
the
you're trying
level,
to find
but
clues at the same time, aren't you?
yeah, you find clues for hidden items, things to progress you in the act you're in, and the house changes each level, and like there's different things that get added, things that get removed. The map changes. He gets a little more difficult. He finds you more often, quicker at getting you and looking around. So each level gets a little harder, and the puzzles get a little more challenging. Trying to find hidden items to unlock doors and things like that, because you're trying to unlock the door in his basement. I think to get to the end of the game. I'm not sure what's down there, but I think you find out what's down there because he has it all locked up.
Mm.
Oh,
That sounds
okay.
interesting. That's a good. All right, so Hello Neighbor. Make sure
Yeah,
to check
it's a really
that out.
fun one.
That-
Not a little challenging, like just slow, not like too like a challenge or anything like that. It's kind of like a relaxing game in my opinion. No, nothing competitive. It's just fun to
Oh.
play.
That makes me think of a game. It didn't come out. I'm almost positive it didn't come out this year. I actually think it came out last year, but I played it this year, early in the year once the pandemic hit because I was like I had nothing to do. It's called After Party, and you're two people, and it's a story game. So you just run it. You're going through, and you get sent to hell. You're at this college party, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're in hell. And the whole goal is to try and get to the devil because you want to figure out what the fuck is going on. And it's actually really entertaining. The voice cast is really good. It's this very simple game. You're just going through meeting different demons and people down in hell, and you have conversations with them, and like it's just one of those fun games. So that's another one. After Party. It's on Game Pass. So that's another good one.
Yeah,
I'll have to try that
yeah, I played that when it came out. A really fun game. And I would also, if people end up playing that and like that, they should check out their first game. They came out with Oxenfree. That also may be on Game Pass too, or at least it was at one point. I don't know if it's still there, but it's probably only $5 now. And I played that when I was actually still living in Maryland, and like a blizzard came through, and so I was just like, all right, cool. I'm just not gonna take a shower for a few days. I'm just gonna sit here and just play video games like
There it is.
nonstop. And it was one of those, and it's a good little game. I can't remember that developer's name now. I should know them.
I
but
can't remember them either. But After Party, yeah, Oxenfree and After Party, very good, very very good. Call of Duty Mobile. Thanks, Carlos.
I
Thanks.
got the studio here. Was it Night School Studio?
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yep.
Yep. There you go. Nice job, Dan. Look at you being on top of that shit. Proud of you.
Look at me.
He's like,
I'm just checking the mail, big guy.
yeah, oh yeah. Patreon check will be in the mail, sir. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
David, do you have any underrated games?
I mean, a game that we played this year, definitely since we're talking about games, was Overcooked 2. Because we had some fun playing that.
It's stressful but really fun.
We have fun playing it, and then I mean, I didn't really play it until then. Yeah, it's really. I mean, we've had some fun playing it. I don't want to
You
hear.
had fun. I'm not gonna
Don't wanna hear.
that.
It's definitely fun.
It is super fun. Honestly, I loved when it's just we played it the last time, and it's like, God damn it, son of a bitch! Like, just getting pissed, and it's just like, fuck. But it's like then when we get the score, we're like, oh, we thought we did really shitty. But we still get 3 stars. We're like, awesome. All right, cool. I don't want to do that again. That sucked. I don't want to do that ever again. Junior, do you have any underrated games? Probably Age of Empires, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was considering that, but I'm into my Steam
Take over
library. One of the games that like I
Oblivion.
really enjoy playing with like especially the boys is Pummel Party. It's pretty much like the adult version of Mario Party.
I just watched a show
That's a fun game.
do that, and I was
It
really
is
interested in getting it because I thought that looked fun.
Worth
It
it.
is fun. I mean, it's got like a bunch of mini games, you know, like Mario Party does or whatever, and then you got all your little power ups that you can steal coins and stuff. But the way the map is structured is that there's this AOE trap. So depending on what map it is, like it could be the cemetery, it could be the desert or whatever. In the cemetery map, if somebody activates the hazard button, you got this giant ass 7-foot freaking zombie with a machete, and he starts going after whoever's in first place. But the fact is that whoever gets in his way is the first casualty, and he just chops you in half with the machete.
Oh,
The mini games, you got your, you know, fighter planes, you got your hot potatoes and things like that. But again, it's all like adult themed. So the hot potatoes like a TNT bomb. The fighter planes, you're shooting the crap out of each other. You see the blood splattering everywhere, and the graphics are like catered to be these fucking goofy ass, cartoonish looking, players. So you would not think that there would be blood and mayhem going on, and it's just a fun game to play.
Well, that is super dope. I saw people playing it, and I was like, oh, that looks really fun. That looks fun. I think that's a big thing too, and a big theme for this year was friendly family like type of games. Like you get people together, and that was obviously the big thing. That's what people wanted. I mean, because some of us obviously you missed a social interaction, or you're not seeing people, or you're not seeing your family, blah blah. You're not sitting around doing a podcast for fucking almost 2 hours an episode. No, this one's not 2 hours. It's only an hour. But if you don't have that, you're looking for those and be able to play these games with people. I think has been was a huge blessing in 2020, and I think it's something that will continue to be strong moving forward as well. So we shall see. BK, did I ask you if you had an underrated game? Or did you say yours?
I mean, I was just chiming in. I don't know, because I would honestly probably just pick one of the backlog ones that I played. So I don't really have an underdog one for this year.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
So
picking up what you're throwing down. It's okay. It's just Carlos, so it's cool. Don't worry about it.
Let's play Civ.
Oh yeah, there you go, Carlos. Play Civ. Yeah, you got a PC. Go ahead, play some Civ, bro. Why don't tell me Rust went on sale today? Sorry.
Yeah, it's because everyone's playing it. I can see why.
Civ 6 has been up for a while, isn't it?
Which one?
Yeah, it's definitely been around.
Civ 6?
Yes.
Yeah. It was like 2016, I think. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in to our Game of the Year 2020 podcast. If you're watching live on Twitter at AMNationPod, YouTube, Amalgamation Nation, just search it, or on twitch.tv/UndeadRedBull. Thank you very much. If you're watching on Facebook, also thanks, but again, don't add me on Facebook because that's weird. All right, I only add people I know. It's kind of weird, but that's cool too. Thank you very much. If you're listening to this on podcast services such as Spotify, Google, Apple, etc., thank you. We appreciate you. Make sure you follow, leave a comment, rating, all that good stuff. So please do that as well. Also, if you're looking for merch, it's teespring.com/stores/AMNation-UndeadRedBull, or you can search it on our pinned tweet at AMNationPod on Twitter. It's right there as well. Like I said, twitch.tv/UndeadRedBull is where you find us streaming the pod, as well as David streaming whatever he's playing. You give him a follow and give him a sub. If you have Amazon Prime, you do get a free sub a month, so give it to Undead Red Bull. Just because I hadn't done it at all. We've done 2 shows this week now to kick back off 2021. We did a sports show on Tuesday. We did an impromptu State of the Nation show, me and BK, yesterday, because we felt like we just needed to vent it out. We just had to talk it out. So thanks for joining us for that too. But moving forward, looking ahead, this is the first week of 2021, so I feel like I can discuss this now. Moving forward, as of right now, this looks like this will be the live stream schedule. It's going in the podcast schedule recording. It looks like probably sports shows on Tuesdays. We'll look for 7:30 p.m. Central Time to start. And if there's any changes, we'll tweet it out, depending on people's schedules and stuff like that. Thursdays will be the gaming one. Same thing, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, depending on everyone's schedule. Again, that will change, but those look like the 2 days. We'll keep Saturday as if someone thinks of something they want to do a show about, if there's extra shit going on that we want to do, that's cool too. So we'll also look at Saturdays as well. That will probably be earlier in the day if we do it, but again, that'll depend as well. And then the Weebisodes are on Sundays. Will we stream them? I don't know, because Junior Mike can be kind of like, we just do this, and I think I'll put too much pressure on Mike if I stream it. So we'll see if we stream that one. But that's still on Sunday. Speaking of that, this Sunday we will be recording Weebisode 10, the first one of 2021. Tons of anime news to get into. I know during this 2 or 3 week break, I myself watched a shitload of anime. I'm sure Mike watched a bunch. Junior either read a bunch or watched a bunch, so that will be fun as well. As well as the following Weebisode will finally be the Naruto Shippuden in review. So that's exciting. I know Junior's excited.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, on podcast platforms, search Amalgamation Nation, Twitter at AMNationPod, Instagram at AMNationPod, and on YouTube, search Amalgamation Nation, and twitch.tv/UndeadRedBull. That is where you find us. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Dan, since you're here, Do you have a quote of the week for me?
Dude, come on. Not my first day.
Of course, that's first rodeo. Everybody, it's my favorite time of the week. Dan, take us away with the quote of the week.
You got it. All the woulda, coulda, shouldas, laying in the sun, talking about the things they woulda, coulda, shoulda done. But all those woulda, coulda, shouldas all ran away and hid from one little did. Shel Silverstein.
Everybody, be safe. Make sure you look out for one another. And